Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and another new episode of my wife's Audi A3. If any of you haven't seen any of the previous videos, let me give you a quick recap. We bought the car for around about £4,500 from Copart, including all the fees. We've stripped down the front end, we've installed new slam panel, we've installed new headlights, replacement bumper, I've put a new wing on there as well. And now we're at the stage where we need to move on to the interior. But before we get onto that, I just want to take 2 seconds just to say, if you are enjoying the content, please hit that thumbs up and don't forget, hitting that subscribe button is completely free and it massively supports the channel. Let's get on with that video and let's see how we get on with the interior. So first step is to remove the back of the centre console or the tunnel, remove the air vents, just pries out, and then remove one electrical connector. This reveals two 8mm bolts, removes that little end bit of plastic, and then you've got two more 8mm bolts at the top, and then four 10mm bolts which hold the main part of the armrest into place. With that free, moving on to the centre bit, this just pries up, lift that over the gaiter, and then disconnecting the electrical wiring underneath there. Then you're presented with four 8mm bolts on the centre tunnel you just need to undo. I'm putting everything into a bag so I can keep it in separate areas and don't get any of the bolts go missing. After that's done, you move on to the glove box. So you've got 3 bolts just underneath the flap there, 1 on the end and then 2 below. With those out, take the MMI unit out, and then you've got your final 8mm bolt which is hidden behind that there, and that frees up the glove box. Once the glove box is out, just remove all the electrical connectors and then move on to the air vents. So just pry these out. Very easy to get out, these were. And then moving on to the clocks, you've got 2 8mm bolts below the clocks. Take those 2 out. They just lift out and there's a single connector on the back. With that out of the way, you've got another 8mm bolt behind where the clocks were. Unscrew that and then remove the trim around where the sat-nav unit is, and you've got 2 bolts that sit below it, and you have to access those through the air vents which we removed earlier. Then you've got 2 bolts underneath the plastic on the driver's side, that just pulls out. Remove the ODB cable, and then moving on to the knee airbag, again that was just 3 10mm bolts. It's all very straightforward stuff. Remove the controls for the sat-nav unit and then just pry out the heater controls. Now this was quite stiff, but I found the best way to do it was just pull it from underneath. And after all that's out, you've got access to 2 more bolts at the bottom of the tunnel, and that's the dashboard out. Okay, we're back. It's not actually the next day, it is probably about a week later because the weather turned out to be quite bad and I couldn't get the dash swapped over, but we are all set up. So I have our new dash here. That's even got the vents in it, but I'll probably take those out and keep all the original ones. But these are all extra bits that I can sell. As you can see, both identical. They've both got this badge on here. So we've got matching parts. And then in the garage, we have curtain airbag kit. We've got the knee airbag kit. These will be the 2 seat belts, and that will be our steering wheel airbags. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to focus on the curtain airbags because they need to go in before the dash, because there's kind of like an awkward bolt down at the bottom of the dash. I'll show you that in a second. So let's crack on and get these curtain airbags in first. Okay, so this is the bolt in question. This is why I'm going to do the curtain airbags first, because when the dash is in place, it sits in front of that bolt and makes it very difficult to get to. So literally, the curtain airbag system, it has like a strap that comes down here and that like tensions it. And then you've just got clips that go all the way along that the airbag system fits into. You've got a bolt here. So the airbag unit itself, the actual kind of the explosive bit, slots in there, pulls forwards, and then you bolt that up and then you reattach your connector. Yeah, so once we've got the curtain airbag system all back in and connected, I'm then going to focus on the seat belts. And this thing, I mean, that is tight. So there's a bolt down the bottom by the seat. We'll get that off, that will release that one. The other side is actually, it'll be locked out, but it's still working, but it's best to replace them both anyway. So let's crack on, get these curtain airbags in. So So on the curtain airbag itself, I don't know if you can see that, but there is an L. So you've got a left and a right. Obviously, this is the left-hand side of the car, so we'll start with there. And I'll say that is our kind of explosive unit. So all I'm going to do is take this Torx bolt out, and then you've got this locator bolt on the bottom here. That literally goes into that hole there, slides forwards, and you fit that back onto there. So hopefully you'll be able to see this okay, but we're ready to put the new dashboard in. The only thing I had to transfer over was like a little speaker that sits up here, and that was just two, I think 5.5mm bolts, which is a bit weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the dash into place loosely. These two connectors here go to the speaker, and there's a sensor that sits in a piece of plastic up here. So I need to get those two through, then the screen cable through. The majority of the other cables, like this and this, they all sit below the dash anyway, so they won't interfere. It's just making sure that key things like the connection for the screen, for the clocks is free and doesn't get fouled. Once I've got those kind of loosely threaded through, I'll then push this dashboard back, and there's two locators. There's one here, there's one here. Once those two are in, I can then start installing the bolts, and the way I'll do it is I'll start at the top and kind of work my way down. So we've got one at either corner of the A pillar, at the bottom of the A pillar. We've got one in the middle here. There's two brackets on the dash that come down this way, so I'll get those in. And then the glove box, that was quite a significant number of bolts, so there's like these, and these. So what we're going to do is, just like I say, start at the top, work my way down. The other thing that I forgot to mention, in order to get this centre tunnel back as far as possible, there is a little selector release pin down to the top right hand corner of the gearbox, which if you click that allows you to pull the stick all the way back, so you can get the access to remove the centre tunnel and get access to these two bolts down here. And I say the majority of this wiring will all feed through, and that will go to our heater matrix controls and the stereo controls. So yeah, let's get cracking and get this dashboard back in. Right, so that's the dashboard all reinstalled. I've still got a bit to do on the centre console just to install the armrest at the back, but I thought I'd leave that off. All the airbags are connected. The dashboard airbag, steering wheel, knee airbag, and also the curtain airbags on both sides. They're all reconnected. So there's only one thing to do now. Pray that when I plug that battery in, nothing explodes. That's that one. There we go. Right, let's try the ignition. Okay, moment of truth.
Whoa! I just jerked in your chin.
So nothing's happened. Let's go with a start. So tyre pressure monitoring fault. Let's just do this on the steering wheel. If you do it full lock left and then full lock right, that should clear the steering angle sensor. Yeah. So we're going to still have an airbag light because I haven't replaced the pedestrian protection on the bonnet yet. But while waiting, I'm going to get all this centre console bit here all put back together in the armrest. But I think it's successful. Right, so next step is to get the headlining back in. So the way I did this is the reverse of how I took it out, which I know I didn't get on video, but fold down the rear seats, put the front seats all the way forwards and lean them back, and then drop the door seals from the top of each of the doors, and then literally through the boot, push it in and lift it up into place. So we'll get to that stage and then I'll show you how it clips in. Right, now, if you wonder why I didn't get a video of me taking it out, it's because that's how hard it is to get at a good angle on when you're installing it. What we need to do now is, starting at the back, clip that into place. And we do that using the handle so that that basically sits up there somewhere like that. And then the grab handle actually is what holds the whole thing in. Okay, so I've just been doing the editing and for some reason, I don't know how it's happened because I know I pressed record, the installation of the headlining, it's just not there. So what I've done is I've just pulled this grab handle back out. I'm going to quickly show you how that goes in, but ultimately the headlining is all back in. Let me spin you around. Excuse the Sahara Desert that now is on my windscreen. They've got a lot of building work going on and it seems to have coated the car in dust. So put all the headlining back in place, clipped all these bits back in. These just all push into place. With the A-pillars, you pop that little airbag clip out there and that basically releases like the holding pin and then you can just pull those out and then up. And obviously when I got all the headlining back in place, I just tucked it back underneath the seals under here. But the key thing with the headlining, which mainly holds it in with the exception of a couple of clips in the headlining near the boot, is these. So they basically push into place in there. You hold it up into place there, you push the clips through, holding the side, see like that, holding the side of the clip, and then you push these grey little bits in, or these retainer clip bits in, and there you go. And that's it. So that's basically how it's held in, and I say that's now solid. Okay, so I think that brings us to a good point to end the video. We've got a lot done. The interior is now pretty much complete. I'm going to order a set of car mats just because I think that will finish it off and give it a nice feel on the inside. If anyone's got any recommendations where to get some, I looked at buying genuine Audi ones and they were like 150 quid for four mats, which is just, it's mad. So anyone's got any recommendations, put it in the description. Where have you bought car mats from in the past? I want to get a decent set. I don't want that kind of cheap, real flat material. I want it to have like a nice plush finish like the originals. Don't mind spending like sort of 60 odd quid. But kind of could do with some advice there because I've not really sort of used any third parties for the interior mats. What else is left to do on the car? So we've got the bonnet hinges, which we need to fit. They've arrived. I didn't get a chance to do them in this video, and the car, like you saw in that sort of clip there from when I was doing the editing is absolutely caked in dust. So I'm gonna have to give it another clean before I start tackling any of the bits. I've spoken to a body shop and they basically said spray the wing, be around about £200. It'll be about $350 if he can't get the colour match perfect and he has to kind of blend it to the bumper and the front door. But that leaves with the question as to what we can do with the bonnet. So what I've done at the moment is I've basically said that as soon as I get the car back on the road, I mean, it's taxed, it's not taxed, it's MOT'd until September. It's insured, I just need to get it taxed, and then I'm going to take it over to the guy at the body repair place, and he's going to have a look at the bonnet and see if it's something that, you know, he can pull on a jig, maybe if it needs a bit of sanding just to kind of like lift, where he can like tack weld on and lift some of the metal. I don't know, but that sort of bodywork stuff, I'm no expert on. I'm still kind of learning as I go along. So hopefully we can get a video on that and kind of see what work he can do, if he can fix the bonnet, because if not, I think the only thing I could do, I don't really want to buy one of the cheap aftermarket steel ones. They're about £200. I'd rather go with an aluminium one or aluminum if you're watching from America, and to find a genuine one, I had a quote from Audi, it was like £580 for the bare bonnet. That's not with like the latches or anything else on it, and then you still got to get it sprayed, which would then be like another £200-300. So I don't really want to start spending a fortune just to get that bonnet sorted out, but we'll try and do this on a budget. We'll see what turns out. But anyway, that's enough waffle. I just want to say thanks again to everyone who's watched it all the way through to the end of the video. If you have given it a like, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. If you've hit subscribe, that's great. Helping support the channel, helping us grow. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.